Welcome, everybody. The Fever win in the ugliest fashion possible, 85-77 in TD Garden. I swear the fourth quarter was as long as that Wings game. It just dragged, man. There were 15 of the 33 fouls in this game were all in that fourth quarter, along with stoppages. And there's so many things that I could say about how they should handle out of bounds plays because it's getting ridiculous with challenges and everything. It takes them so long to do anything. And it was just a weird, brutal night. And even ugly wins are wins. Those are good wins. A win is a win is a win. But sometimes when you win, you lose. And tonight was one of those nights. Caitlin Clark had a tough shooting night again. At this point, it was clear through this game she's not 100% still. I mean, we all know this. We know that's why her shot isn't quite falling, even when it is looking good, but she's been looking more upbeat, so I was hopeful. And she ends the night with 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 turnovers, 1 steal along with that. And she scored most of the points in the fourth quarter, helping the Fever finally separate from the Sun, because the Sun were just on the heels all night long. So many lead changes in this game. She had a beautiful pull-up jumper, aggressive drives to get to the rim, finally hitting her first 3 and only 3 of the night, and gave the team a good burst of like 9 points down the stretch. However, on one of the final plays, she's doing the classic backdoor pass to Kelsey Mitchell, which Kelsey Mitchell finishes beautifully on. But right after the play, you can see it. The grimace on her face. She grabs her right side now instead of her left side, so different injury, and she grimaces down the court and headbutts the stanchion. And I mean, it is one of those things where you don't know how much is a pain and how much is just the realization, right? Because this is the hardest point of her career that she's pretty much ever had, right? She's had lots of challenges in her career, but she's never had to deal with health issues like this. And now the third injury in a single season, compensating probably for the previous injury. And it's just a tough thing to deal with. And again, we don't know the extent of the injury. And she was the reason we won tonight. Just straight up. Despite her shooting woes, her as an offensive engine and the team now molding around her, playing around her. That's one of the most painful parts too for the team is they were playing so well around her that even a tough like tonight, like she was plus 21. Like that was her impact on that. She was the highest plus minus. And I just wish the best for her because I know this has to be tough. With all that said, let's get to the rest of the game, which the team started strong. They were 7 for 7 out the gate. They were shooting great. 21 fast break points, up tempo yet again. You can see that it's like built into the team's DNA now. There's multiple times where Kelsey Mitchell's leaking out, players are leaking out, they're pushing the floor, they're making the passes. Natasha Howard, there was a point early in this game that I thought that Natasha Howard was going to have the easiest 40-point game in the WNBA history because everything was just wide. All the assists and looks she was getting were just wide open. It was the easiest shots ever. She was making everything. The team was always passing to her as the bailout. She was cutting beautifully. Like, this is what you want to see from her. And it's a shame that now we're taking Clark out of the equation because she played really good, especially in the first half. It slowed down a little bit after that, but she scored 18 points, 13 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks in the night. I think overall she is showing a great consistency and ability to adapt to what the Fever need throughout these games. Kelsey Mitchell, consistent, did all the work inside the arc tonight. 20 points, 61% shooting, 3 assists and a steal, but 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. But I mean, she played with energy. She had the second most minutes in the game. Those backdoor cuts were pretty free tonight. And speaking of backdoor cuts that were pretty free tonight, Sophie Cunningham was a big beneficiary of that. She really is carrying this team in the 3 department. She was 2 for 3. She was 2 of our 5 threes on the night, which is not usual for the Fever. Hall had 1 and Dantas had 1 along with Clark, but she's just that feisty burst off the bench that we really need on this team. Aaliyah Boston had a quiet night in her home stadium. It was tough going in the first half. She was getting lots of assists and passes. She had 11 points, 7 of which came from the free throw line. And she didn't have her first bucket until the third quarter. She also had 6 rebounds and those 4 assists that I mentioned and 1 block, which was good to see from her. And I attribute a lot of her kind of slow start tonight to one, she's part of it, she's facilitating, but the other part of it is she's on Tina Charles. And that's just a tall task. And Tina Charles was very good tonight, but I think it brings up a big piece of this game and how I feel about it, where I hate the refereeing in the WNBA on so many levels, but tonight is so egregious that there has to be a talking to. There has to be something to the league. There has to be, like, I haven't watched the post-game media press conference. It's not out while I'm recording this, but I hope something is said, because this was another game that could have boiled over. And there are multiple instances of things not being called that were terrible. One of the refs said something to Caitlin Clark after she's calm. She's talking with the ref. It's on out of bounds calls where the ref isn't asking for help. She didn't call one in favor of the Fever. Later, another one he calls wrong. Very clear. It's like right in front of him. I actually thought the guy has, like, he needs glasses and he actually is blind. Like, normally it's a joke, but this was real. And this one, and later he, she's calmly talking to him and he just says something and it sets her off. It pisses her off. And I don't know what he said, but for Clark to go from calm to, like, he said something and she said, hey, that has nothing to do with it. Clearly something was wrong. And she eventually pulls him over to have a conversation with him, but, like, it says grow up. But there's some unprofessional behavior going on over there. The other one involves Tina Charles. Is she she swung at Aaliyah Boston and literally folds her over, and there's no review of the play. Clear flagrant foul, maybe throw to the game level, because you can't just get frustrated and swing at a player. And the way that she fell, it was, like, very clear that, like, a normal thing didn't happen, a common foul didn't happen. And so for them to not review this is shameful, and again leads to scenarios where this could have got worse and stuff could have got out of hand. Kelsey Mitchell got an elbow that wasn't, it was reviewed for the foul, and they said, it was incidental because, her arm brushed into Sanaya's face. So Sanaya need to retaliate with an elbow. Like, that's basically what they condoned. The craziest part about the Kelsey Mitchell one was, while they were reviewing it, a fan got kicked out. And I will say this, I think that it is shameful. So whatever this fan did, he said something to Sanaya Rivers or something to the Connecticut bench. And it is shameful to wear Caitlin Clark's jersey and to say something despicable enough that would get you ejected from a game. Like, that is shameful. Don't be like this guy. Don't disrespect the Fever and Caitlin Clark by wearing her jersey and then saying out of pocket stuff. That is unacceptable. And so that, on top of all the reffing stuff, thing that I hate about playing this team, it is a Bush League team that plays dirty. Like, JC Sheldon was on her best behavior tonight, but those other players were throwing bows and taking shots at our players, and it's BS. It's BS. It shouldn't be allowed in this league. And when you have nothing to lose, it's even worse, because there's no punishment for this for them. There's nothing for them to lose by playing like this and injuring your team. So I'm never going to look forward to them on our schedule. And I hope something is done about it, honestly, at this point, because it's ridiculous. On the Fever side, their D was bad. A lot of breakdowns on help defense, and it led to a lot of just, like, the lanes were open tonight. There's lots of drives, lots of scoring. It's part of why we couldn't pull away. There's just way too many easy shots on them. And to their credit, sometimes they did have some good passes or good moves, but a lot of it was just us not protecting lanes, not giving proper help defense. Dantas hung Sophie out to drive multiple times in this game. It was bad. On top of that, our rebounding was absolutely atrocious. Besides, there's a few big efforts from Timpson in this game to try to get rebounds and stuff like that, but it's like they got 24 more shots than us on the goal. That is an insane number. They had 13 second chance points. If it wasn't for the fact that we forced the issue and got to the line and shot 29 free throws, thankfully we shot good at the free throw line tonight, and we shot good from the field tonight. We shot 50%, but 24 more shots than the opposing team is wild. That is brutal. It's part of why we couldn't pull away. And if we hadn't shot and got to the line so much, we'd probably lose this game to the Sun. Rotations are another thing I'm going to keep my eye on tonight. It just felt like there was a lot of them that were probably unnecessary. White sometimes gets into a experimental mode where she's trying to find something that works, but we're just rotating too much. And I understand that Clark is out in some of the rotations because we were trying to deal with her injury and ease her in. But on the other side of it, it's you're destabilizing so much that we didn't get a lot of rhythm. And the starting lineup was the clear far and away that lineup, mix in Sophie wherever you want to, was the best lineup in this game. And, again, it sucks when you lose your all-star to the third injury of the season, another huge loss. The team has shown growth through adversity this season, and I believe they are going to continue to find a way. And we don't know how bad Clark's injury is yet, what the prognosis is, any of that information. But I hope for her sake it's not severe, and I also hope that she really, really gets the time to get it 100% right, because I get she's impatient. I get the team needs her back. I get that that's what the fans want, everybody wants. But I think now more than ever, we all just want her to get healthy, because it's clear that you can keep trying to force it back, but the load compensating, we're too far down the rabbit hole now. Just get healthy, Kaylin. So with that said, who was your MVP for tonight's game? And tell me, what is your favorite snack to soothe yourself when you're in the blues? I think I might order some Thai food. And remember, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. And I'll catch you next episode.